Welcome back to Squawk Box. We've got a couple stocks to watch this morning. I want to bring in Tony Zhang. He's the chief strategist for Options Play, as well as a CNBC contributor. Want to get to look at some stocks this morning. Want to start, though, this morning with AMD getting a downgrade from Wells Fargo to from overweight to equal weight. The analyst saying shares are approaching levels that present a more balanced risk reward. They're increasing the price target from $55 to $64 per share. Show us what's going on here.
So thanks. Good morning. Thanks for having me. So if we look at a long-term chart here for AMD, it really tells a story very similar to Intel. But if we zoom into a shorter-term chart, this is a 6-month chart here. What we see is that the stock clearly broke out from 35 over the last few months higher. And this downgrade currently, what we see here, is going to knock the stock down a couple of points here.
Okay.
Now, AMD clearly is leading Intel from a cloud computing space. But I really think that from this knockdown on this price provides a really good opportunity for us to get long, especially if you believe in the longer-term picture of GPU space with Bitcoin and the fact that we have a $64 price target. This knockdown is a good entry for AMD. Okay,
but $64 is the price target for this stock.
Correct.
Okay, that's not so much room to move here.
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about shares of Boston Beer, which are falling right now.
Right. So I think this is a really interesting setup, similar to AMD, because this news story was actually a beat on revenue, but a miss on earnings. And this stock got knocked down into that 380 level back into. So this stock has traded between 350 and about 400 over the last few months. And this earnings announcement puts us right back into the 380 level. I actually really like this stock, record revenues this year. So I think that this is a good opportunity for us to get long. Back up above 400, in my opinion, is where I would go long. But the line in the sand here is around 350.
Just so when you said 400 to go long, so you're going to wait for this to get back to 400, or you're going to go now?
So I actually think now is a good time to get long.
Got it. Because you think it's going to break over 400.
Correct. And I think it's going to get back to around that 450 level. The line in the sand that I'm looking at is around 350.
What's the inflection point that does that?
I think actually the fact that we got this reversal back into this range is actually what we want. And if we look at the beer segment, it's actually a fairly competitive segment. But Sam is actually diversified into hard seltzer, and they have a very good grasp in that particular market. Okay,
we also got shares of iMax to talk about because they are higher. The company's fourth quarter earnings beating estimates. CEO Richard Gelfand saying that all of its theaters in China remain closed due to the coronavirus outbreak. He said that's a short-term challenge that will pass, and the China business will rebound. That stock, you can watch that stock.
Forget the coronavirus. Okay. This chart tells a very different story. It's an absolute disaster. If you look at this stock, this $18 level has been a strong support level, which had cracked below that before we had this coronavirus thing. We did have a bit of a bounce here on earnings yesterday, but I still see that it's below this $18 level. I think this stock is headed lower, especially considering this stock has had zero revenue growth over the last 3-4 years.
So you're shorting the stock?
Correct.
Okay.